Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. My name is François Bussy. I'm currently Vice Rector for Research at UNIL, the University of Lausanne. I will present you this video along with my colleague, Dr. Iago Otero, who is coordinator of a recently created Interdisciplinary Centre for Montane Research, also at UNIL. The title of our presentation is Financing Interdisciplinary Research, the challenge to go beyond institutional seed funding. Before giving the floor to Iago Otero, I will give you some general information about the University of Lausanne, the way it is organized, and it is financing research. UNIL is a state university which is not any more comprehensive since 2003, as its departments of math, chemistry, and physics have been transferred to the neighboring EPFL, École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne. UNIL hosts about 20,000 persons, among them 16,000 students, and offers all levels of formation from bachelor to PhD to continuing education. As just mentioned before, UNIL is a specialized university focusing on human and social sciences, life and medical sciences, and environmental sciences. Like many other universities worldwide, it is organized according to a disciplinary scheme into 7 faculties, which are listed on this slide. Each of these faculties is further subdivided into departments, institutes, sections, and so on, again according to disciplinary schemes. Financial resources of UNIL are primarily secured by the local, that is cantonal, regional, that is intercantonal, and federal governments, which represent about 80% of a total budget of 630 million Swiss francs. This state money is shared out among central services for circa 30% and the 7 faculties for about 70%. This faculty part is then distributed among the departments and institutes. Overall, each professor and most senior lecturers at UNIL automatically benefit from 1 or 2 PhD or postdoc positions financed by the institution without having to compete for that. These positions are essentially, if not uniquely, dedicated to disciplinary research. Professors are encouraged to submit proposals to external funding agencies, but no real penalty or retaliation is applied to those professors who do not try to get this type of funding. Competitive external funding mostly comes from the Swiss National Science Foundation and the European Union for a total of about 8% of the UNIL budget. Interestingly, the main Swiss funding agency, the SNF, is also organized according to a disciplinary scheme with 3 historic divisions: 1 for humanities and social sciences, division 2 for mathematics, natural and engineering sciences, division 3 for biomedical sciences. In other words, if you want money for your research, you have to apply in a given discipline with top-notch, highly specialized proposals. There is a 4th division at SNF dealing with special research programs, among them the Synergia program, which is specifically dedicated to interdisciplinary research, whereas the R4D, Research for Development program, is focused on global issues for development and also have a part of interdisciplinarity. Among the 1 billion Swiss francs allocated by the SNF in 2019, 90 million have been allocated to Synergia interdisciplinary projects, that is 9% of the total budget. For 2 years now, the Rectorate of the University of Lausanne has decided to promote more actively interdisciplinary research in creating 5 interdisciplinary research centers focusing on themes which are considered to be strategic for the institution. And you have the list of these 5 centers down here. These centers will be financially supported by institutional money for 4 years, $500,000 per year for the Mountain Research Center. Then they will be evaluated for an additional period of 4 years and will be further financed or not. In the meantime, the Rectorate hopes to attract researchers in these interdisciplinary centers and to motivate them to compete for external funding. I give now the floor to Iago Otero, who will tell you how is everyday life in one of these interdisciplinary research centers, the one on mountain research. Thank you.
Dear colleagues, good morning. I am Iago Otero, the coordinator of the Interdisciplinary Centre for Mountain Research. It is my pleasure now to take over after Professor Bussy's presentation. The Interdisciplinary Centre for Mountain Research aims at promoting research on mountains with a special attention to sustainability challenges. It wants at the same time to strengthen the links between researchers from different faculties at our university. Hence, it has an interdisciplinary approach, but also transdisciplinary in the sense that we are focused on the needs of 2 study regions in the Swiss Alps. We also participate in regional and international networks of mountain research and development. The center, which is called CIRM in French, has an assembly where researchers and partners can participate. It has a board which makes the strategic decisions and an operational staff that manages the center. In this governance structure, researchers from different faculties as well as societal stakeholders can participate. We then develop projects of different kinds and outreach activities which interact with each other. And we focus, as I said, in these 2 study regions of the Swiss Alps, which become like in situ laboratories for sustainability. Currently, we have 85 researchers from 5 different faculties that are affiliated to our center. We also have some operational staff. We have several postdocs that are hired directly by our center. We had 1 that just finished, 3 postdocs that will be with us until next year, and 1 postdoc that is going to start this coming month of October. And then we have also 16 partner institutions that are working on mountain research and dissemination activities, which also belong to the network of our center. Our activities can be summarized in 3 pillars. The first one is research, which we promote through different calls, a call for postdoctoral projects and a seed funding program that supports about 4 pilot interdisciplinary projects per year. We also organize seminars and conferences, as well as we invite researchers and we participate in the national and international networks. The second pillar is interdisciplinarity, which of course is related and overlaps with research, but it stands as one pillar on its own. In this sense, we organize workshops to facilitate the collaboration between postdocs, between seed projects, as well as among researchers in general, and also to discuss about interdisciplinarity and to assess our progress in that sense. The third pillar is communication of our research results with popular science conference series, other type of events, newsletter, and regular contact with the media, all these to build a network of people that are more and more interested in the sustainability of mountain regions. Next, I'm going to focus on the results of our self-evaluation. We analyzed the first 2 years of activities in our research center in order to answer this question: how can we better design inter- and transdisciplinary research so that it is more effective in addressing the challenges related to sustainability. The results are currently under review in the journal Mountain Research and Development, and we hope that they are published soon. To diagnose inter- and transdisciplinary research, we used this simple model and gathered data from interviews with our researchers as well as from notes from workshops. This model includes 6 basic components of research and their dynamic interactions. We have the object, which is what are we researching, what are we interested in. Then we have the subject, which is who or what are we as a research partnership, for example. We have the institutional support, which is the resources given to support interdisciplinarity by the university, for instance. We have the methodology, which is how do we work and which methods do we use. Then we have the paradigm, which is related to what is it that we are doing. Is it multidisciplinarity? Is it interdisciplinarity? Is it transdisciplinarity? And what this means after all. And then we have this notion of serendipity, which is basically how to capitalize and use unexpected discoveries and unexpected happenings throughout the research process. I don't have the time now to explain how we did the analysis, but the main point is that this simple model allows to explore the main challenges, the needs, and the resources that are available to improve inter- and transdisciplinarity. I will focus on those results or findings that are relevant for today's workshop. One of the main challenges that we found is related to the fact that inter- and transdisciplinarity takes a lot of time. So it can be a risk for researchers because they have less time for their own discipline, which is, after all, still the basis of career assessment. According to our researchers, however, a useful resource to compensate or to deal with this challenge was the seed fund program, because with this program and their projects, they could assess the feasibility of a pilot project, an inter- or transdisciplinary project, and at the same time consider the risks that developing this project would have for their career if the project would be developed in the future. But we also identified a need to develop new ways to evaluate scientific careers that give more value to inter- and transdisciplinary research, such as, for example, co-production of knowledge with stakeholders in workshops as this one from the picture. So there is this need to develop new ways to evaluate scientific careers at the university and in research funding programs. Another challenge that we identified is the integration of different points of view, both scientific and non-scientific, into collaborative research that actually contributes to sustainability. We found that several methods that were used in our center were very useful for that. For example, having a common research site, using project co-design, as well as facilitation and conflict management techniques. But at the same time, to make this possible, to address this challenge, we also identified the need for researchers to acquire certain aptitudes, like, for example, empathy or trust in the collective to be able to understand each other. So hence, we identified a need to transform ourselves as scientists, where when doing inter and transdisciplinary research. And finally, we elaborated on this notion of serendipity, which is, as I said, the capacity to use unexpected happenings in creative and productive ways. We realized that in our center, serendipity was a source of new discoveries and new project ideas across disciplines. Also a source of flexibility to accommodate contributions from societal stakeholders when co-designing and co-producing projects and knowledge. At the same time, also it was a source of new insights on research priorities, like, for example, how to transform scientists. And so we found that serendipity can make the research the research process more creative. And so we concluded that it should be part and parcel of the design of inter and transdisciplinary research, including in funding programs. Finally, I would like to launch some proposals to improve funding programs based on our self-evaluation. For example, evaluation criteria in these programs could be revised towards more reward of strong inter and transdisciplinary experience and collaboration. Sufficient funding and time could be allocated to participatory meetings that use facilitation and personal development techniques. At the same time, we think that it would be interesting and useful to allow projects to redefine the goals and the methods based on the interactions between disciplines and with societal actors during the course of the project. So flexibility in that respect would be useful. And also another thing that would be useful would be to make contingency funds available to adjust and to fund emerging ideas and needs that were not foreseen in the initial project document. Also, it would be interesting that there is flexibility regarding, for example, project delays due to, for example, intense stakeholder involvement. And finally, to include in the eligible cost the resources needed for self-evaluation by the project team and the transfer of lessons learned. And with this, I came to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm very much looking forward to the discussion.